I'm Ben Meiselas from the MeidasTouch Network. MAGA Republican Kevin McCarthy, who is the weakest speaker of the House of Representatives in American history, has been going around and telling journalists that one of the things that he is considering doing is introducing something, because it's not actually legal, to expunge the impeachments of Donald Trump. You can't expunge impeachments. There's nothing in the Constitution that allows that to take place. But what Kevin McCarthy stated, and this is what the Washington Post is reporting, he's been saying, quote, I would understand why many members of Congress would want to bring that forward, referring to some sort of expungement of Donald Trump's impeachment. McCarthy said, I understand why individuals want to do it, and that is something we will be looking at, McCarthy said. And one of the things McCarthy also said is that he shares the sympathy for what Donald Trump went through regarding the allegations against him in the first impeachment trial relating to him withholding weapons and extorting Vladimir Zelensky in Ukraine, and the second impeachment for leading an insurrection to overthrow our democracy. Kevin McCarthy said, I sympathize with what Donald Trump went through. He endured far too much. Now, in addition to being a weak MAGA Republican, whatever, Kevin McCarthy is just a freaking liar. He's a traitor. He's a liar. There's a reason that he's called Cave-In McCarthy, not just Kevin McCarthy. And look, you remember after the January 6th insurrection, there's like 3 different audio tapes that circulated where Kevin McCarthy said that Donald Trump bears responsibility, and he said that Donald Trump needs to go, and he said that he's going to be calling up Donald Trump, and I've had it with this guy. Yeah, let's play the first clip, just so everybody remembers. So after the insurrection, this is what Kevin McCarthy was telling Republicans. I've had it with this guy. Play the first clip.
I've had it with this guy. What he did is unacceptable. Nobody can defend that, and nobody should defend it. The only discussion I would have with him is that I think this will pass, and it would be my recommendation we should do that. That would be my take, but I don't think he would take it, but I don't know.
Okay, now in the second clip, Kevin McCarthy says, can't we just take away everyone's Twitter accounts? Let's just take away their accounts. Play this clip of Cave-In McCarthy. Play the clip.
And there's an issue with Alabama. Barry Moore has said some things today even that we should look at, honestly.
What did Barry say today?
All right, so he deleted his personal Twitter account, but Jamie Dupree with the Atlanta Journal got screenshot. He said about 22 hours ago, wow, we have more arrests for stealing a podium on January 6th than we do for stealing an election on November the 3rd. Atlanta, Philadelphia, and Detroit would be places I recommend you start. There's video evidence of these crimes as well. Hashtag election integrity matters. And then Moore also made this tweet on Saturday night as the U.S. Capitol Police officer who shot and killed a woman as he tried to get into the lobby. So he tweeted at Marjorie Greene and at NARAL, I understand it was a black police officer that shot the white female veteran. You know, that doesn't fit the narrative.
What? Ow. Oh, man.
This is what we have to confront with this.
Can't they take their Twitter accounts away too?
Okay, now here's another clip of Cave-In McCarthy after the January 6th insurrection saying, Trump bears responsibility. He says he admits to bearing responsibility. I told him that he's responsible. Here is Cave-In McCarthy again. Play the clip.
But let me be very clear to all of you, and I've been very clear to the president. He bears responsibilities for his words and actions. No ifs, ands, or buts. I asked him personally today, does he hold responsibility for what happened? Does he feel bad about what happened? He told me he does have some responsibility for what happened. And he needs to acknowledge that.
Well, now, Cave-In McCarthy, Kevin McCarthy, the weakest speaker, MAGA Republicans, they want to introduce something that's going to expunge the impeachments of Donald Trump. Guess what? I'm a lawyer. That doesn't exist. There is no mechanism in the Constitution to do that. But look, we're dealing with MAGA Republicans who don't even understand how bills become laws. They pass a bill in the House of Representatives to defund a conspiracy that they created, for example, last week. The conspiracy they created that 87,000 IRS agents are going to knock down your door. So all they want to do is engage in these scare tactics while they pick your pockets. What they don't want is a functioning IRS. There's not 87,000 agents. Over a decade, people who are retiring from the IRS need to be replaced with new individuals, especially as things get more technologically advanced. You need to hire more IT people within the IRS. So over the next decade, 87,000 employees, not 87,000 agents. And in fact, the bill that House of Representatives MAGA Republicans introduced to now defund the IRS, to try to cripple the IRS, according to the Congressional Budget Office, would actually add $150 billion to the deficit. So the very first piece of legislation that they introduced in the House of Representatives, which, by the way, is not a law. It's not a law. It has to pass in the Senate and be signed by the president. That is how a bill becomes law. Schoolhouse rocks. Yet MAGA Republicans are saying, oh, we've passed it. The IRS is defunded. And then what they say about the Congressional Budget Office, which talks about how $150 billion will be added to the deficit, the Republicans say, oh, you don't fake news. We're only going to cite the Congressional Budget Office when it benefits us. And when it doesn't benefit us, we're going to say the Congressional Budget Office doesn't know what they're doing. So now the folks who brought you a fake law don't know how a bill becomes a law. They're now talking about expungement of an impeachment. Okay, expungement may exist in criminal cases where there are criminal pleas or criminal convictions to remove from a individual who was convicted of the crime or has a crime on the record, to remove the conviction so it's off their record. That is what expungement is. There's no such thing as expungement of impeachment. Now, the MAGA Republicans may do, because all they engage in is performative BS. They'll pass a non-binding resolution to expunge Donald Trump's two impeachments, one where he tried to extort Vladimir Zelensky to help Vladimir Putin, the other because he led the January 6th insurrection. That's what they want to do. They want to show the American people that that's who they are. At the same time, they start railing about the purple M&M and make up conspiracy theories about stoves, and as they talk about Mr. Potato Head, or as they talk about Batman and the Joker. I don't even understand this one. The Joker's pregnant, and that really makes MAGA angry. What are we talking about here? What we're talking about is MAGA Republicans going all in a performative way to demonstrate what a cult they are, where Trump is weaker and more desperate than ever, as Americans are yearning for normalcy, humanity, centrists coming together, solving problems, focusing on reducing the cost of healthcare, making education more accessible, reducing the cost of prescription drug prices, making sure that you could work for a high-paying job, more than a minimum wage, a wage with dignity, improving your working conditions, making sure that when veterans come back from overseas, that we treat our veterans with A+ everything. Make sure they get the best health care in the world. Republicans fist bump each other when they block giving veterans health care for exposure to toxic burn pits. We're focused on working with our allies. Vladimir Putin wants to destroy the United States of America. So the fact that MAGA Republicans sympathize with Vladimir Putin and say Putin's great and the Russian army's amazing and our army here is too woke. That's why we don't call these MAGA Republicans conservative. There's nothing that they want to conserve. They want to terminate the Constitution. After January 6th, as recently in the past month, Donald Trump called for terminating the United States Constitution. That's who Kevin McCarthy and the Republicans say they feel sympathy for. So sometimes the simplest explanation is the answer. Yes, they want to terminate our Constitution. They want to destroy our institutions. They want to topple our democracy. They want to support insurrection. And they support Vladimir Putin. Folks, the answer's kind of staring us in the face who these MAGA Republicans are. It doesn't start with the C. It starts with a T. They're traitors. They're traitors. They're fascists. We got to call them out. I'm Ben Meiselas from the MeidasTouch Network. Hit the subscribe button. We're on our way to 1 million subscribers. Thanks to your incredible support. Also, check us out at patreon.com/MeidasTouch. We've got incredible exclusive content at Patreon. You just go to patreon.com/MeidasTouch. But also, it really helps grow this independent media platform, which is so important. So if you can, great. If you can't, no worries. I'm Ben Meiselas from the MeidasTouch Network. Until next time, folks.
At MeidasTouch, we are unapologetically pro-democracy, and we demand justice and accountability. That's why we're spreading our message to Convict 45. That's right, gear up right now with your Convict 45 tees and pins at store.MeidasTouch.com. That's store.MeidasTouch.com.